You know what's really interesting? Do you want to know what's really interesting? Is that my life stopped sucking and being just terrible, worthless, meaningless when I simply started caring more. You want to know something really interesting? Is that people always say, right? You always heard the term, no excuses, right? No excuses. I don't want to hear excuses. But the thing about excuses is that when you make excuses, it's not because you're lazy or you're worthless or you're just not good enough or whatever. When you make excuses, it's simply because you don't care enough. It's simply because you don't care enough. And you might care. You might have a lot of care. Oh, you know what? I do care about the gym. I do care about working out. I do care about my personal goals and dreams. I do care about my relationship. But do you care enough? Do you care enough to go and hit the gym when you feel at your absolute worst? Do you care enough to go and talk with your girlfriend and make up with her when things are going as bad as they could be? Or at least try to talk it out, I should say. Do you care enough about, oh my gosh, my hair is just horrible today, dear goodness. Do you care enough about your goals and dreams to go after them when everything in your life is just going wrong and you think to yourself, you can't accomplish this? Do you care enough about yourself to do whatever it takes to do what you know that you need to do, even when you don't like yourself and you doubt yourself? You don't like yourself, you doubt yourself, you don't like the way you look. Do you care enough to go and change that? And that's just the thing right there. My life stopped sucking. Not once I stopped making excuses, because I stopped making excuses when I started to care more. That's just it. And it doesn't mean that you don't care, right? It just means that you don't care enough. I started to actually build my habit of working out, going from 2 days a week to 3, up to 5 to 6 days a week. When I actually started really caring about that dream of going from skinny to aesthetic. And now that I finally figured out what the heck I've been screwing up with bulking all along these years, now I can go from small to big. And I would totally gladly do another talk on that, but I think it would be smarter and better to do it once I'm actually bigger, so that way I have like more authenticity and stuff. But I finally realized what I've been doing wrong, and now I care enough that I'm gonna go after it and get it, no matter how rough my day is, or no matter how rough my eating sessions are, or no matter how not hungry I feel that day, whatever, you know. I mean, even with like my relationships, I realized that my relationships started getting better once I just cared more. Once I realized that, yeah, I cared about her, but I didn't care enough. I didn't care enough to put aside my own feelings and emotions for a little bit to go and talk to her, and then we could talk things out and then work on my feelings and emotions after. I didn't care enough to go and, what the heck? To give up like some of my personal hobbies to go and spend some time with her, like for a couple days or whatever, right? Like that's the thing, right? And you can say, you should still, you should still do your personal hobbies. Yes, you should still, care about your feelings and emotions. But I'm saying sometimes you got to put those things aside to put what's more important. Have you ever heard of priorities, right? Your priorities is like what's most important to least important. That's just the thing, because everything's important in your life, right? And that's how I used to think, is that everything's important and I got to do everything at the same time. And it's just like, whoa. It's like, unfortunately, that's not how it works. Sometimes, there's a term called cost something. It was like a finance term. It was like, I forgot what it's called. If someone comments it, or it'll probably come back to me at like midnight. I'll be like, oh shoot, I just remembered that. But it's basically, you have to give up something. Like you have to, if you give up a cost of something for another thing, like you kind of got to pick the best cost. Like if this thing costs 500, but this thing costs 500, you want both of them, but you only have 500. It's like you're gonna have to give up one for the other, at least until you save that 500, right? It's like I may have to give up some of my own personal relaxation time for the gym. I might have to put aside my feelings of, I feel like garbage and piss today, because I need to go work out. Right? I might need to put aside my feelings of, I'm pissed at my girlfriend. I might have to put aside those feelings so I can go talk to her, right, and work things out. And then, right, when we work things out, then those feelings and emotions will kind of naturally go away. Or like I can talk to her about whatever's bothering her, and then after that we can talk about what's bothering me, right? It's like stuff like that, right? It's like you gotta, it's about how much you care and where you put it on your priority list. That's the bottom line. And the thing is that I thought to myself, I'm like, I care so much about everything, but I don't have time to do everything. And so at that point, I might as well just kind of do nothing. You know, and at the end of the day, I can say what I want. Oh, you know, I care too much. It's like, no, honestly, I just didn't care enough. I didn't care enough about my fitness goals. I didn't care enough about my life goals and dreams. I didn't care enough about, you know, certain relationships I was in. I didn't care enough about my family at one point in my life. I didn't care enough about my finances to not blow it on stupid garbage that I never needed. I didn't care enough about whatever. I cared. Absolutely, I care about, you know, I care about the girl that I'm dating, or I care about my family, or I care about my goal. Of course I care, you know. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be thinking about it at all. But I didn't care enough. I didn't care enough to show up to the gym when I feel like garbage and I feel like piss and I feel like butt. I didn't care enough about my family to talk to them, you know, to ask how their day was, even when I was just pissed off at life. I didn't care enough about my finances to not blow my money on stupid crap that I don't need. I cared, but I didn't care enough. I didn't care enough about my goals and dreams to go after it, even on my worst of days, when I'm feeling down to the dumps, when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm feeling annoyed, pissed off, angry, whatever, stressed. I did not care enough. And it wasn't until I started caring enough that I actually got to work. I'm showing up when I don't feel like it. I'm showing up for back day when, like, the bottom of my back is like sore, it's hurt a couple times to sit down today. I don't know if I definitely had to have pulled something or whatever, having back problems at the age of 23. Come on, man, really? You know? But I care enough to show up. I showed up to chest day or push day. I mean, today's pull day, but, you know, I showed up and I hit chest, shoulders, and triceps, and I didn't feel good. Like, I felt like garbage, and my head was spinning, and I felt kind of nauseous, you know, but I'm still physically able to do a workout, so I'm going to do it. I'm still physically able to communicate with my family, so I'm going to ask them how their day was, or I guess just like talk to them, even if I'm pissy. Sure, I might step aside for a little bit and kind of, you know, just so I don't say or do anything that I regret or whatever, but it doesn't mean I'm just going to ignore them and say screw off or anything. Like, I'm still going to show them the love that they need. I'm still going to be there for them if they need me, even if I have to step away for a minute or so. But past me was just like not being there for them, basically. And rather, I know I just kind of made it sound like just asking how their day was. It's like, yeah, that was kind of like a little bit of it, but like, you know, like kind of the core is that I wasn't there for them when they needed me, all because I was ticked off or stressed about life or whatever. It's like, no, man, no. Sure, it's appropriate to step away. It's appropriate to take some time to breathe, take some time to think. Absolutely, just so I don't say or do anything that I regret around them, or better yet, like go around them and just be in my own head, not even giving them time and attention a day. It's one thing to step away. It's one thing to have your like alone time. It's another thing just to not be there for someone when they need you because you're freaking pissy or stressed about life or whatever. Like that's just it right there. So you know what? You know what really flipping changed my life and actually stopped making me so miserable and angry and just, I guess not, I mean, what stopped making me so miserable about life is that I just had to start caring more. And it's not something that you can really be taught to do. It's either you care or you don't. Or you do care, but just not enough. Like, care just kind of comes from more of like a love itself. It's like, if you don't love a girl, you probably shouldn't be with her or marry her. Or at least, like, I know I'm not saying like fall in love. I know that's like kind of different after you date for a while. Whatever. If you don't care about a girl, you probably shouldn't be with her. If you don't care about your family, like, there's probably some deep problems you got to fix with them or something like that, if they're willing to. If you don't care about working out, it's like you're probably not going to be hitting up the gym or anything like that. If you don't care about your goals and dreams, whatever, I don't know, you're not going to be going after them. Like that's the thing, is that, you know, you just, I can't tell you how to care. All I do know is that once I actually started to realize how important these things are in my life, that's when you care more, is when you realize how important they are, how important my relationships are, how important certain people are, how important fitness is, how important God is, how important, you know, finances can be, doing the right thing, being a man, being more of a man, embracing true masculinity. Like, when you realize how important they are, then that's when you start to care. Sometimes, you know, the smart people, they hear other people tell their stories, and then they kind of realize that, yeah, that's pretty important. Maybe I should try, you know, maybe I should try, I don't know, embrace being a man. Maybe I should try doing the right thing more. Maybe I should try working out and getting fitness into my life, because, you know, from this guy's story, hey, it's fairly similar to mine. Maybe this will help me. Maybe I'll give it a shot. But some other people also hear the stories. They're like, yeah, you know, it's kind of similar, but you know what? I don't really care. Whatever. And then you got to learn the hard way from life. It's like, for me, I've listened to other people, I've heard what other people say. There was just a lot of times where I didn't take advice. And it's like, some people, you hear their advice, you take it, doesn't work. Okay, fair enough. Some people, you hear their advice, you kind of instantly know that it's just BS. Okay, fair enough, don't take it. But sometimes you hear people's advice and you're like, that's actually pretty good. And it's something that could have potential to work in my life. And that's kind of advice you at least just want to try out. I'm not saying you have to become that person, whatever. No. Just like at least try it out and give it a shot. I mean, even to this day, like there's people I used to listen to or be around that I kind of realize are pretty bad influences now, but some of their advice has stuck with me and has actually worked for me in my life, even though now they're a bad influence. So I just separate myself from them or their podcast videos, whatever. But, so it just goes to show, it's like, I guess you just got to realize how important some things are. And that's how you're really going to start caring. And once you start really caring, you're not going to make excuses. And if you wait till the last minute to realize how important they are, be careful. But if you realize it now, how important certain things in your life are, you're going to care more about it, and you'll naturally get to work on making it better, and, well, you'll be ahead of the game. I wish I had just listened to how important fitness was way back then. I wish I had just listened to how important being smart with money is, how important certain relationships are, how important living every day to the best of your ability you can is. I wish I had listened to this advice earlier. I heard it, I just didn't listen to it. And then life had to teach me the hard way, whereas I could have been ahead of the game, So the bottom line is that, my life really stopped sucking just once I realized how important, life is and how important certain people and things in my life are. And, once I started realizing the importance, I started caring more. Once I started caring more, I stopped making excuses and started showing up to these important things every day and making the most of it, making the most of this life, building the best that I can. And I'm telling you, man, it's never been better. Because again, before, in the past, I used to care about certain people. Like I cared about certain people, I cared about goals and dreams, fitness, but I never showed up every day simply because I didn't care enough, And ironically, realizing how important these things are in my life and caring more about them to where I show up every day without excuses, it's also helped me just to break bad addictions too, because now I used to put addictions above some of these important things sometimes, but now they're always on the down low, they're always on the bottom, because I'm too busy focusing on the important things in my life. And it's like there comes a point in every man's life, where he's got to realize this stuff, otherwise it's just going to go downhill. And so I say it's better to realize it now rather than later. And I kind of wish someone had told me this, even though, I guess people technically kind of tried to, but not really in this sense. And maybe they did try to, and I just don't remember. But I don't know. Bottom line is that once you realize how important the people, goals and dreams, certain things are in your life, how important your life is, you're going to start caring more. You're going to start getting to work on it more. And it's just going to turn things around. Once you start putting your priorities where they belong, focusing on the important stuff and throwing away the non-important stuff, even if the non-important stuff makes you feel better in the moment or whatever, forget that, man. It's about the important stuff. It's about caring enough to never make excuses, because those things are genuinely important in your life. And once you find all those important things in your life, and if you don't know what they are, go out and find them. Go out and find them. It could take months or years, but you're going to find them the more that you keep searching. Seek and you will find, as God's word says. But it's like, yeah, the more you put the important things in your life and take care of the important things, you kind of realize how meaningful your life really is. And even if you don't feel that meaningful right now, I'm telling you, there is a reason. God woke us up today for a reason. He's not done with us on this earth yet. Our time's not up yet. That's why we're still here. So your life definitely has meaning. And if you don't realize it, then you got to go out and find that important stuff, because the important stuff is what will make you realize it. The important relationships, the important goals and dreams, the important work that you do, the important things in your life, the important stuff is what makes you realize how meaningful your life is, right? And when you realize how meaningful your life is, because you realize all these important things in your life that show you how meaningful your life is, and that's when you start caring more, because you realize how important these things are. You naturally start to care more about them because they're important, and then you stop making excuses to not show up, and you start showing up every day. And then you start surrounding your life in good stuff and important stuff, and that's when overall things just become better, because now you've realized a lot of the meaning with your life, and that you have a lot of meaning, you have a lot of important stuff, and that'll just make you feel important because you are, you know. Anyway, enough yapping. Just go find that stuff that's important. Go realize how important it is, and show up every day for them. And for whether it be for goals and dreams or people or whatever, you know, show up every day, no excuses. Care enough about it, you'll show up. And yeah, once you realize how important it is, you'll care enough. So that's just the bottom line. That being said, let's get in there and hit this pull day workout, shall we? All right, leaving off where we left off last time. Luke 10, was it 18? Every extra rejects me. No. Luke 10:17. The 72 returned with joy and said, "Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name." He replied, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. However, do not rejoice that the spirits submit to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven." At that time, Jesus, full of joy through the Holy Spirit, said, "I praise you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and learned and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for this is what you were pleased to do. All things have been committed to me by my Father. No one knows the Son. No one knows who the Son is except the Father, and no one knows who the Father is except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him." Then he turned to his disciples and said privately, "Blessed are the eyes that see and what you see, or blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you that many prophets and kings wanted to see what you see, but did not see it, and to hear what you hear, but did not hear it." On one occasion, an expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. "Teacher," he asked, "what must I do to inherit eternal life?" "What is written in the law?" he replied. "How do you read it?" He answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." "You have answered this correctly," Jesus replied. "Do this and you will live." But he wanted to justify himself, so he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" In reply, Jesus said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho. When he was attacked by robbers, they stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So, too, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. "Look after him," he said, "and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have." Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The expert in the law replied, "The one who had mercy on him." Jesus told him, "Go and do likewise." As Jesus and his disciples were on their way, he came to a village where a woman named Martha opened her home to him. She had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me." "Martha, Martha," the Lord answered, "you are worried and upset about many things, but few things are needed, or indeed only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her." Amen. That's awesome. Jesus over everything, man. Jesus over everything. So yeah, that does it. We'll leave off Luke 11 tomorrow. And that being said, this has been it for today. So now let's go become the great men we were born to be. And I'm gonna get well, let's see, what else do I got to do today? I got finish the workout. So now I got some time with loved ones to spend. I got to finish tracking my calories and bulking up, if you will. Which I'm hoping, I know that it's going to take a little while, but I'm hoping that it'll start to show, like, sooner than later. Like I said, I know what I've been doing wrong with bulking, so, like, oh, man, when I get to that stage where I'm looking way noticeably bigger, like, what the heck, Justin, then I'll talk. But for now, I got to ensure that this is the correct way before I start being like, oh, yeah, this is what you do for bulking, and, like, then turns out maybe I was wrong. No. I truly think I got this figured out, but I gotta show it before I say it. If that even makes any sense. I gotta do it before I talk about it. So I gotta go finish that up. Got time with loved ones to spend, and yeah, probably something else too. I'll remember later. But anyway, that's it. Let's go become the great men that us men were made to be, the great masculine men we were made to be. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow to continue the journey. All right, bro. Peace.